Dear students, in this lecture we'll see about address translation. So, how many are the outgoing packets? All of those outgoing packets go through the NAT router. Go through the NAT router. Which replaces the source address in the packet with the global NAT address. Then how many are the incoming packets? All of those incoming packets also pass through the NAT router, which replaces the destination address in the packet with the appropriate private address. That is address translation. What is this translation table? We'll see next. The reader may have noticed that translating the source address for an outgoing packet is straightforward. So, whatever is translating the source address for an outgoing packet is straightforward is noticed by the reader. But the question arises, how does the NAT router knows the destination address for a packet coming from the internet? So there may be tens or hundreds of private IP addresses, each belonging to one specific host. Then NAT router, which has been shown here, having a translational table can solve the problem. How it is? Using one IP address. When there is a translational table, it has only two columns: private address and external address. When the router translates the source address of the outgoing packet, it also makes note of the destination address where the packet is going. Then when the response comes back from the destination, then the router uses the source address of the packet, which is nothing but as external address, to find the private address of the network, to find the private address of the packet. Then whatever is a communication, it must always be initiated by the private network. Then the NAT mechanism, whatever has been described yesterday in the previous lecture, requires that the private network start the communication. This NAT is used mostly by ISPs that assign a single address to a customer. Then the customer, however, may be a member of a private network that has many private addresses. Then the communication with the internet is always initiated from the customer side using a client program such as HTTP, Telnet or FTP to access the corresponding server program. So I have told you what is HTTP, Telnet, FTP in the previous modules. For example, it has been specified when email that originates from outside the network site, it is received by the ISP email server. It is stored in the mailbox of the customer until retrieved with a protocol such as POP. This is using one IP address. Then another is using a pool of IP address. Using a pool of IP addresses. Then whatever is the use of only one global address by the NAT router allows any one private network host to access a given external host. The use of only one global address by the NAT router allows any one private network host to access a given external host. To remove this restriction, the NAT router can use a pool of global addresses. Example, instead of using only one global address, which has been shown here, instead of using only one global address, that is 200.24.5.8, the NAT router can use 4 addresses, which are 200.24.5.8, one, another 200.24.5.9, and 200.24.5.10 and 200.24.5.11. These four private network hosts can communicate with the same external host at the same time because each pair of address is defined a separate connection. Drawbacks. What are the drawbacks we see? There cannot be more than 4 connections used made to the same destination. No private network host can access two external server programs, HTTP and Telnet, at the same time. Then, two private network hosts cannot access the same external server program at the same time. Then another, using both IP addresses and port addresses. Then whatever is the information, more information is needed in the translation table to allow a many to many relationship between private network host and external server programs. Example, suppose two hosts inside a private network with addresses 172.18.13.1 and 172.18.3.2 need to access, which has been shown, these two addresses need to access the HTTP server on external host 25.8.3.2. If the translation table has 5 columns instead of 2 that include the source and destination port addresses and the transport layer protocol, ambiguity is eliminated. So this is about that. Next we'll start with module 4, the network layer protocols and unicast routing. So we'll first discuss network layer protocols. We'll discuss about Internet Protocol IP. So here we are going to show how the network layer is implemented in TCP IP protocol suite. Then the network layer have gone through few versions and the current version is version 4. Communication at network layer is host to host. So we'll see about this. Whatever is a network layer in version 4, it can be thought of as one main protocol and 3 auxiliary ones. The main protocol version 4, IP version 4, is responsible for packetizing, forwarding and delivery of a packet at the network layer. The Internet Control Message Protocol, ICMP version 4, helps IP version 4 to handle some errors that may occur in the network layer delivery. The Internet Group Management Protocol, IGMP, is used to help IP version 4 in multicasting. The Address Resolution Protocol, ARP, is used to glue the network and data link layers in mapping network layer addresses to link layer addresses. So the figure shows the position of these 4 protocols in TCP IP protocol suite. The second part is what we have seen, communication at the network layer in the internet is connectionless. If reliability is important, IP version 4 must be paired with a reliable transport layer protocol such as TCP. So here it has been shown, this figure, the positions of these four protocols in TCP/IP protocol suite. You can see ICMP, IGMP, IP version 4, ARP. Okay, you can see those. IP version 4, IGMP, ICMP version 4 and ARP, the position of all these four protocols in the TCP/IP protocol suite. Next, we'll see about what is this IP version 4. It is an IP version 4. It is an unreliable datagram protocol which is considered as a best effort delivery service. Then what does this term best effort mean? IP version 4 packets can be corrupted, lost, arrive out of order or be delayed and may create congestion for the network. Then IP version 4 must be paired with a reliable transport layer protocol such as TCP if reliability is important. For example, post office will take. It is the best effort delivery service. What does this mean? It does its best to deliver the regular mail but does not always succeed. It is up to the sender or would-be recipient to discover if an unregistered letter is lost or damaged. Okay, whatever is a post office itself does not keep track of every letter and cannot notify sender of loss or damage of one. IP version 4 is also a connectionless protocol that uses the datagram approach. Each datagram is handled independently and each datagram can follow a different router to the destination. That is, the datagrams sent by the same source to the same destination could arrive out of order. In order to take care of all these problems, IP version 4 relies on a higher level protocol. So next we are going to discuss about datagram format. So whatever is the packetizing, it is considered as the first service provided by IP version 4. IP version 4 defines the format of a packet in which the data coming from the upper layer or other protocols are encapsulated. Datagrams are the packets used by the IP. This datagram is a variable length packet consisting of two parts, header and payload. You can see the header and payload. Header is 20 to 60. Here it is shown. Header is 20 to 60 bytes in length and contains information essential to routing and delivery. So we'll see in brief. Internet Protocol version 4 is a delivery mechanism used by TCP/IP protocol suite. The packets used by IP are called datagrams, as already I told. This datagram is a variable length packet consisting of two parts, header and payload. Payload is nothing but the data. And the header is shown here. It can be 20 to 60 byte length and contains information essential to routing and delivery. It is customary to show header in 4 byte sections. You can see four section. One section is version, which is of 4 bit. Then you can see HLEN, header length, which is of 4 bits. Then service is of 8 bits. Then you can see total length is of 16 bits. So is it clear? Into 4 byte sections. So is it clear? Version, HLN, service and total length. So we'll discuss in further the next lecture about this all the fields. We'll stop here.